Now, there was a recent study done by Attom Data Solutions. It shows that there are housing markets in a few large cities that are the most vulnerable to falling prices if a downturn really hits. And if there's a severe recession, the American economy in certain counties with large populations, including in New York and in Chicago, as well as in Philadelphia or even in California, of course, these are the most susceptible to a drop. Now, the counties are considered to be in danger based on several factors, which include things that are fairly obvious: foreclosure rates, proportion of underwater mortgages is a thing again, affordability, and wages, along with unemployment rates. Now, nearly 600 counties across the US were evaluated in terms of those categories in the second quarter of 2022. 31 of the 50 US counties considered most vulnerable to housing market troubles were in the metropolitan areas around Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, PA, as well as in California. Now, surprisingly, the California markets were actually mostly inland, away from the coast. They continue to have higher levels of unaffordable housing, underwater mortgages right now, foreclosures, and unemployment rates. Now, the top 50 counties included 2 in New York City. That was Kings and Richmond counties, which cover Brooklyn and Staten Island. 7 of the top 50 in the New York City suburbs included Bergen, Essex, Ocean, Passaic, Sussex, and Union counties in New Jersey, and Rockland County in New York. 6 of the top 50 were in the Chicago metropolitan area, including Cook, Kane County, Kendall, McHenry, and Will counties in Illinois, and Lake County in Indiana. The 3 in the Philadelphia metro area were Philadelphia County in PA, and then Camden in Gloucester counties in New Jersey. California had 13 counties in the top 50 list. No big surprise to any of us at this point, I believe. The counties included Butte County, Humboldt, Shasta, Solano, Fresno County, Kings, Madera, Merced, San Joaquin, Tulare, Kern, Riverside, and then San Bernardino. Those counties include the California cities of Chico, Eureka, Redding, Sacramento, Fresno, Modesto, Stockton, and Bakersfield. Now, part of why those local markets were at the highest risk was because families in those areas were bearing more of a burden financially relative to the wages that they're earning. Mortgage payments and property taxes, along with insurance for a median-priced single-family home, eat up a significant chunk of the average paycheck from the people that are living in that area. In Brooklyn, for example, get this, nearly 103% of local average wages were needed to cover the costs associated with home ownership. You heard me right, 103%. Now, we did a deep dive specific to housing affordability in a recent video. Make sure you check that out in the description below. According to Attom, underwater mortgages are really beginning to play a huge part in market vulnerability, a repeat of 2006. Rockland County in New York had the highest percentage of underwater mortgages at 19.2%, while Lake County, Indiana, just outside Chicago, had 19.2% of their mortgages also underwater, followed by Peoria County in Illinois with a 17.6% number of homes underwater. Now, as we know, owning a home is very expensive as an endeavor. Not only are the monthly mortgage payments required, but homeowners are also going to have to pay for the insurance, they pay for property taxes, they pay for all the unexpected expenses that come along from repairs, as well as furnishings and decor. Given that I coach people regularly financially, I see just how much goes into things like furnishings and decor that are unexpected on the front end. But you don't even necessarily factor in all of the different things like landscaping supplies, things like lawn mowers, or even just the tools necessary to maintain the grounds. In a recent property that I purchased 3 years ago, this was a huge expense for me. I ended up spending tens and tens of thousands of dollars to get that property not only furnished and decorated, but also just to prep the area. I mean, it's a large lot, it's at 5 acres, so I needed a riding lawnmower, which cost me $3,000. On top of all of that, I ended up having to spend a tremendous amount of money on unexpected repairs. The well pump went out unexpectedly after just 2 years. That was a $5,000 expense. On top of that, I ended up having to replace almost all the appliances in the unit, including a refrigerator. I replaced the dishwasher, which then just 2 short years later went out again, and the warranty wouldn't cover it, which meant that I had to replace it a second time. And I just had a new washer and dryer installed in that property last week, which cost me a little over $3,000. So altogether, I've spent now around $12,000 on just some of these unexpected expenses and repairs just to maintain the property. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that I had to put a $10,000 boiler into the property in the first year of owning it without expecting it. So regardless of getting a proper inspection, which cost me around $700 to get, along with the appraisal and having conversations around these items with those professionals, yes, I knew that those ages were at that point around that 15-year mark that things were going to have to be replaced. You've got to go in and understand that even if it's working fine when you buy it, if it's at that older age, you're probably going to be looking at that life expectancy sooner than you hope. These are not fun costs to pay because, look, the boiler worked when I moved in. Putting in a new boiler, which is at premium pricing in a small town where you don't have many options of who can install it for you properly, you know, it would be unrealistic of me to expect that that thing is just going to continue to last year after year after year. It may be sooner than I hope, but it is eventually going to need to happen. Now, according to a recent survey from US News and World Report, 2/3 of first-time homeowners said that they felt house rich, but cash poor. And I see that all the time in coaching. US News polled 2,000 American homeowners that bought their first homes either last year or this year, and they found that more than half of homeowners polled said that they had to absorb unexpected $500 to $1,000 in repairs that they didn't plan on. Now, as investors or potential homeowners, it's going to be crucial for us to continue to keep our eyes focused on these markets moving forward. It means avoiding some and exploring others. There are going to be opportunities in the months and years to come. Make sure that you stay tuned to this channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so already so that we can continue to keep you updated as the markets fluctuate. Don't forget to like the video. It certainly helps us a lot with the YouTube algorithm. We definitely appreciate your viewership. Want to continue to bring you great value. Want to help you continue to go further, faster financially. So share these videos and the channel with your loved ones. And be sure to watch all of the videos in the catalog. They all still apply, even those from 7, 8, 9 years ago. The math makes more sense today than it ever has before. We're going to give you some great techniques to keep you maximizing your cash flow and keep you on the path to building wealth. We look forward to seeing you on the next video. Until then, make it a great day, and we'll see you soon.